Okay, y'all, what's up? So I cannot believe that I missed this news, but it came out like a couple weeks ago. Apparently, Dan and Dave, like in their contracts with HBO, they were guaranteed producer credits on every single future Game of Thrones spinoff. They decided to decline this, so it's not currently happening, but I just thought it was wild that that was even a thing in the first place. And also in this Hollywood Reporter article, in the same article, they were talking about like their fans or the fans' reactions to the show, the end of the show, and all that stuff. So I had to go ahead and turn the pages. I had to get into it. So let's go. So yeah, like I said, this whole article was talking about their projects, upcoming projects, girl. Okay. Let me stop. But of course they had to talk about Game of Thrones and what happened with that and da. So I'm just gonna skip to a part that I think we could pick up on, right? Because this article long as hell. So let's cut right to the chase, okay? I'm gonna start in the middle of a paragraph. Just get into it. The article is in the description, a link to it if you want to read the whole thing. But we're not doing that over here. We're just reading the relevant parts of this video, and let's go. So to be fair, not all the online acrimony is about their creative decisions. Dan and Dave can sometimes come across as dismissive of fan feelings, which to me, that's what it felt like, especially, I can't remember specifically, but when they was going around doing panels and shit and talking about that shit, I was just like, okay, girl, I don't want to hear nothing from y'all. I don't want to hear nothing from y'all. So to me, it definitely felt like that, but whatever. Even if this part, to me, I was like, okay, this next part, I was like, okay, whatever that means. They said, the article said, even if they privately agree with a Thrones criticism, they feel it wouldn't benefit themselves, HBO, or the thousands of others who worked on the show to say so. And it's like, well, you didn't see the extreme distraught you know what I mean? That was all in that room when the cast first read that fucked up ass script. So what you mean, like, oh, well, if we don't acknowledge that we could have done certain things differently, or if we agree with certain criticism, we can't say anything because that will hurt the people that work for us. It's like, girl, you already dragged their ass through the mud, girl. What you mean? I mean, the damage been done. What you mean? So yeah, I just think it's wild that they said that, like, even if they privately agree with a criticism, they wouldn't go out there and say that shit. Like, they wouldn't say, I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at what you did or looking at a work that has been completed that you worked on, whatever, and be like, okay, I watched it here at this point, and I feel like, in hindsight, we could have approached it this way or done it this way, or like, there's nothing wrong with doing that, especially after seeing those faces at that table, girl. Like, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you right now, the fact that the actor for Varys thought that he did something wrong, I remember he said that, clearing it up or saying, okay, I agree with some critiques, is not going to hurt y'all more than, you know what I mean? I don't get that. But that's what they said. You always hope everyone's going to love anything you do, and it would have been great if 100% of people loved it, but they didn't, Benioff said of season 8. You can get so bogged down in public opinion that you spend your whole life Googling things and trying to find people who felt one way or the other way. And then Weiss said, even super positive feedback makes you feel weird and teeth grindy and on edge. There's a drug quality to the feedback. And as soon as we went cold turkey, the last time I Googled myself was in 2013, the ambient stress level in our lives dropped by about 50% overnight. Well, yeah, girl, I mean, I don't know why y'all was Googling yourself in the first place after that shit. I wouldn't even go near Google, bitch. What do you mean? Of course. The duo have run into fans in real life since Thrones ended. These encounters, they say, have gone fine. There's an underlying decency when people acknowledge you as a person and vice versa. There's something that happens in the transition from human interaction to online that pushes things, blah, 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 blah. This part here, when Dan and Dave wrapped Thrones, many fans assumed they deliberately rushed the show to an early conclusion. And I'm just like, okay, You're talking about many fans assumed they deliberately rushed the show. And I'm just like, if you watched season 8, what other explanation is there for such a shitty plot like that? It was rushed and sloppy. Drogon was up there burning a pile of swords, the Iron Throne, instead of the person standing above his dead mama. Daenerys sat up in the fucking sky and didn't see a fleet of fucking ships. Then they took their asses behind the scenes. Then they took their asses behind the scenes to tell us that Daenerys, the person who, Queen of Marine, all type of shit, right? Politician, all type of shit, forgot about a fucking entire fleet of ships while she trying to fight for the Iron Throne. You forgot about the threat of Euron, right? Absolutely. That shit was garbage and it was rushed. Get out my face. Then they said another common assumption is that they ditched Thrones to make more money elsewhere. One of their little noticed decisions goes against that idea, as the creators of Game of Thrones, Dan and Dave, were contractually guaranteed producer credits on all future Thrones spin-offs, a lifetime of franchise mailbox money for doing nothing on House of the Dragon, for starters. And they turned it down. Nobody does this. HBO was kind of confused, Benioff says. I remember their lawyer saying, but it's just money, we're just gonna pay you. Adds Weiss, I don't think there is such thing as free money. For us, if our name is on it, especially that, while being completely detached and uninvolved, it felt like the strain that would come with that hands-off approach, with its success or failure or anything in between, was not worth it. HBO was gonna give them coin on top of coin. You know what I mean? That's why I'm just like, girl, I'm going straight to Essos and I am resurrecting Daenerys. And she gonna come back on top of Drogon and take that coin right back. If y'all had took that shit, I was going straight across the narrow sea. I was going to wake Daenerys, knock on her motherfucking noggin. I was gonna knock on her fucking forehead, wake her ass the fuck up. I don't care if I got to use the darkest of dark magics. All right, I'm dark, so it'll be all right. You feel me? I don't care what methodology I was gonna have to use. I was gonna wake her ass up, bring her right the fuck back on top of Drogon, and snatch that coin right back. Girl, get it. You are not just like Jon Snow. Oh my God, they just watched his ass walk by after he look how they massacred my girl. Look how they massacred my girl after he dragged the shit out of my girl. No, ma'am. You and y'all, both of y'all and Jon Snow would have looked up in the sky and seen the breaker of chains come yet again, the second coming. Okay? If that shit would have happened. That's so crazy to me. That's so wild, right? So they said, no, they haven't watched House of the Dragon. I recently watched Thrones with his family, They talking about Scavenger's Reign. This part here was funny too, because, okay. So after Thrones, Dan and Dave's next TV project was supposed to be another HBO show, Confederate. Y'all remember that? A series. Okay. Confederate was envisioned as an alternative timeline drama in which the South has successfully seceded from the Union, slavery is still legal, and a new civil war looms. The idea was to tell an anti-racism story, but all corners slammed the concept as woefully wrong-headed, and the project blinked out of sight. When asked about the Confederate reaction, Benioff and Weiss look stricken and take a long time to respond. It's kind of a low point. You try things that feel like they are worth doing, and some of them work out and some of them don't. And it's just like, you bet your ass some of them don't. You can bet your ass that some of them don't. You try certain things, whether that's to rush through a fucking last season of your show. You try certain things, whether that's, to get on Star Wars. You try certain things, right? Like showing what the U.S. would look like if slavery was still legal and we, it's supposed to be this anti-racist thing. You try certain things, and some of them just don't work out, girl. And when I say you bet your ass on that one, you really do, girl. Y'all, this is so... I don't even know. Like, I just think about how many other, like, especially minority, like black filmmakers, if you just gave them one chance, showrunners, whatever, gave them one chance. But Hollywood giving people like this, these trillions of chances. More coin on top of more coin. And I'm just like, girl, why don't y'all focus on how quickly this show devolved, Game of Thrones devolved, right? After they ran out of source material, girl. Like, after they got ahead of the books, what you see in the show, I feel like that's what their true storytelling ability is. Period. And so, knowing that, y'all gonna still have them on y'all shows and have them doing shit, talking like this. They talk about Confederate and all this. Like, girl, I just will never get over the fact that there are so many, like, fan-made endings, right? Fan-made season 8s that you can find on YouTube. There's so many fan-made endings to Game of Thrones that are trillions of times better than what we got. Like, y'all were being outwritten by, like, fanfic people. Like, for real. So, I don't know. I just thought all this was funny, interesting. Especially, I was like, damn, this article came out a couple weeks ago. I missed this. I missed them talking shit, girl. That's because every time they face pop up on my timeline, I'd be like, girl, let me scroll past before I get mad again. Let me scroll past before I get mad again, all over again, you know? So yeah, tell me what you thought about this. Definitely had my fun kikiing, laughing about it. Love y'all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll check y'all out later. Peace. All right, y'all, make sure that you're going to www.zeraxia.com. When you join the wait list there on the site, you will be the first to be notified when I drop my sequel. Also, you'll immediately get chapter 1 of my upcoming sequel of the upcoming book sent to your email as a PDF. So check that out. Also, this is a different excerpt from my upcoming book, so you definitely want to pause to read if you're trying to get your life. Keep in mind that this upcoming book, this sequel, is following up the first book that is already released called Zeraxia, Wrath of the God King. I released it a few years ago. It was my introduction to writing, fantasy and stuff. So just go easy on me. But either way, as you can see here, it's given 4.9 stars. It's given 4.9 stars. So yeah, check out Zeraxia, Wrath of the God King while you wait for Zeraxia, The Vengeance of Cold Wind, right? And go to Zeraxia.com, sign up, join the wait list, get your free chapter. Thank you so much.